Hey, you crazy mofos. The creak of the door and the sound of the steps mean one thing. This is Bill Johnson. Leatherface 2, Bubba, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, and you are listening to the Timo and Harley Show. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there's my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben, up your nose with a rubber hose, Harley.
Oh, you did not.
I did.
Mr. Carter. Got it.
Oh, Mr. Ben Harley. Speaking of Mr. Carter, now, I don't have...
You got a note?
Yeah. Yo, Mr. Carter, I got a note.
Nope.
There's no Welcome Back Carter on right now on MeTV, Mr. Ben Harley, but I would like to make an announcement that I've been wanting to make. And there's really no other reason I haven't than I've forgotten. I just forget, like, you know, when by the time we're sitting down here to do this. But I am happy to announce that now on the MeTV weeknight lineup at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern time, they are now playing one WKRP in Cincinnati.
Ah, yes.
And
nice.
On my birthday yesterday, Ben Harley, I know that these channels are watching. Thank you. I know these channels are watching us and listening. We know Comet is. We just know Comet is. But now WKRP is Mr. Ben Harley, because on my birthday, my big 45th birthday, they played the turkey episode. If you remember the Thanksgiving turkey episode where Carlson gets pissed off because he doesn't know anything going on, so he wants to do this big secret promotion, and he's going to give away free turkeys.
He sure does.
Downtown Cincinnati. And all I can say is that...
It's a helicopter.
It's a helicopter. And Les Nessman coming back explaining how a man and his children tried to kill him. That's one thing. And then Carlson, the very last line of the show, Carlson goes, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." I swear to you, as soon as the show was over, I texted Tim Jameson from Ultraman and said, "I hope you're watching WKRP." He goes, "It was the turkey episode."
Yes. I love that show.
I do too.
But yeah, that episode's awesome.
It is.
It's just awesome. And Alice Cooper thought chickens could fly too, didn't he? You know?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So,
but it's fun though. I'm glad to see WKRP because I think an hour of Gomer Pyle is enough to give me a rash.
I've had enough of that.
Oh, you get like MASH, and then you get Andy Griffith, and then you give me Gomer Pyle in between that and WKRP. Who the hell is making up this nightly schedule? Jesus, get Gomer off of there. Put him in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, I was always upset. What was it? Mayberry RFD or whatever. Why? Why are you doing that to me? There's so many better shows out there.
Ultraman spans half of our practices like making fun of each other, saying that we watch that. You watch Mayberry RFD.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Exactly. And Mr. Ben Harley. But speaking of Ultraman, remember Mr. Ben Harley and Danny Hicks. We got a man down. DVD Bob has a bum knee. He will not be making the Dead Kennedy show. But Mr. Ben Harley and Mr. Danny Hicks.
We're going to be there for him.
That's right. You guys are going to be there for him. And we're going to be rocking out with TSOL and the Dead Kennedys and some Ultraman.
And Ultraman, yes.
With, Mr. Mark Denizek sitting in, the old drummer. Who actually wrote all these songs, so it's kind of hard to follow.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like, it's the real guy. Oh, gee whiz.
Oh, yeah. You better straighten up, Timo.
Right. So, and also, Mr. Ben Harley, what else? Well, we got Fragile Porcelain Mice. We're playing at April 28th for a benefit for Mr. Gary Walnut Swaggerty for his cancer treatments at Bar None in Springfield, Illinois. Mr. Danny Hicks will be here for that show, but Ben Harley
next season.
That's right,
up.
Absolutely. But Mr. Ben Harley, he's got business to attend to, so he can only make one show. And I figured, hey, see Fragile some other time. We'll get some Dead Kennedys in on you.
Well, I'm telling you, Tim, I'm just going to retire and become your roadie.
You can do that. Sure.
All right.
Yeah, he can live out with Bigfoot out in the woods.
I'm a part-time, Bigfoot hunt, and then part-time roadie for Timo.
Right. That sounds good to me.
Me too.
So, friends with benefits. There you go.
Yeah,
so,
there you go,
unfortunately, a health plan is not one of them. So you might want to stick with your screen printing.
That's true.
Business there. Speaking of all the punk rock goodness, Mr. Ben Harley, this week we have part 2, as you say, of the Marc Diamond, the Fresh Prince of Darkness from Dwarves. Got him talking. Ben Harley, he makes a comment on this part of the interview that I actually replied to him. Ben Harley may unfriend you. On Facebook, yes. Makes a movie comment. You're going to have to listen. It's a tease. It's a tease. Okay. He makes a comment, and I'm like, you might have to unfriend Ben Harley. No. So,
is it about Jaws?
No, it's not about Jaws. Well, actually, there might be 2 comments. So, listening to that, we will have that before we discuss our official films. And by the way, Mr. Ben Harley, me and Harley can report to our audience that the new Dwarves record, Take Back the Night, is really, really good. As a matter of fact, I don't.
It's kick-ass.
It is, and I don't post on Facebook. I'm when we have a new show or when the band's playing. That's usually when I post. I might say happy birthday to people and things like that. But I actually made a individual, special, rare post from my Facebook page that'll let everyone to know that the new Dwarves record is really, really good. And I even went here, Mr. Ben Harley. I said, like, deep fried tacos good.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's very, very good. It is good. So,
it's a hell of a record.
It is. Awesome. And we are not allowed to play music anymore in the show. The man came down on us. So, and I know Mr. Marc Diamond wanted us to play. And the way the music business works, Mr. Ben Harley, it does not matter if he gave us permission or not. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
You think you own your own music until you try to give someone like us permission to play it. And Mr. Marc Diamond and myself both knew exactly what was going on when I said we can't do it. We can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, buy it yourself. Trust me.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Trust
Get
me.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a great album.
It is really good.
The cover is a great cover.
Oh, yeah.
It's very family friendly.
Yeah. As always, as Dwarves are known for. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I like to leer at some of their album covers, Timo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. So,
yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Ben Harley, I did get to watch some stuff this week. Wanted to go through with you before we get to Mr. Marc Diamond and our official films this week. Let's see here. Let's get some Amazon Prime stuff going here. Here's one. I watched a movie that I saw in a theater in 1981. What's 1981?
The best year in cinema.
Well, this one slipped through too. I did see this in a theater, and if you remember, this was very popular for about 3 weeks in our lives when we were kids. I watched Charlie Chan and the Curse of the Dragon Queen.
Oh boy,
you remember that one?
Very vaguely.
Okay, it was the Charlie Chan movie that came out in 81. That it was like a comedy type of thing, and
I think I do remember it.
It was like, it was up there in the pantheon of bombs, like The Devil and Max Devlin.
Like Howard the Duck.
Yeah. So, but this had Peter Ustinov playing Charlie Chan, Roddy McDowell, Angie Dickinson is a Dragon Queen, Michelle Pfeiffer, a young Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm not a Michelle Pfeiffer fan, but if you are a Michelle Pfeiffer fan, I was going to say she looked pretty when she was young. So
I'm a Grease 2 Michelle Pfeiffer fan.
Grease 2 is a great movie. I like that movie. It's fun. I saw that in the theater with my mom and enjoyed it. So,
she looks good in that one. Oh,
yes.
Sorry.
No. Roddy McDowell's in it, and Richard Hatch is. I'm pretty sure the reason that movie bombed because he was supposed to be number one grandson. And not number one son. If everybody remembers Charlie Chan, he had his number one son or whatever. And The Richard Hatch is trying to play like a bumbling Inspector Clouseau type of thing. Richard Hatch is a decent actor, God rest his soul. But they put a way too much weight on his shoulders in that movie. So, it was fun to go back and watch. I hadn't seen it probably either since the theater or when it ran for a week on HBO. Finally, or something like that. So, so I enjoyed watching it, but it wasn't a great movie. Let's put it that way. Let's see here. Angio and I watched a few movies on the discs. Yeah, on the Blu-ray discs. First up, from 1964, we watched Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price in it. The original film version of I Am Legend with Richard Matheson in it. That's great. I really like that version. That's actually the only version of that I like. We have Omega Man, which is, it is what it is. And then the Will Smith version, which can kiss my ass.
Yeah, I've never seen. I've seen bits and pieces of it. But
you've seen too much. You've seen too much, Ben Harley. You've seen too much, and you're a danger to society. You need to go.
Stop.
Here's one that might surprise you. That I got on I went to Dollar General and picked this up for $5 on Blu-ray.
Sweet.
Throw Mama from the Train.
Oh yeah.
From 1987. Danny DeVito, Billy Crystal, and the old battle axe herself, Ann Ramsey. Ellen, rub my feet, Ellen. Yeah. So,
how does it hold up? I haven't seen it in a number of years. Does it hold up okay?
Yeah, it holds up about as good as it did then. I think a lot of people wanted that movie to be more laugh out loud, hysterically funny. It's a dark comedy. It's a remake of Strangers on a Train.
Yeah, it's like, that one kind of threw me too, because when I, seeing previews and stuff for it, and it is hilarious. There are some funny stuff, but it's much more bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, it came off to me much more bizarre than funny, but I still liked it. I thought it was okay, and it was something different. And I thought Danny DeVito was pretty bizarre in it too,
Right.
So,
as far as a comic remake of Strangers on a Train, that's really good, and Ann Ramsey steals the show. When she's sleeping with her eyes open and Billy Crystal's trying to talk to her.
Oh, my God.
It's good. Let's see here, Miss Ben Harley. Moving on from 1932. On my birthday, as a matter of fact, we watched Island of Lost Souls. Well, thank you. We watched Island of Lost Souls.
Did you pick that out for your birthday present?
I just kind of picked it out. I pulled out a stack of Blu-rays and we kind of went through them. That happened to be basically the last one.
Okay.
But no, I wanted to watch it. It was fun. We kind of gabbed through the whole thing, kind of talked through it. But I love that movie. I love Charles Laughton in it. It's a lot of fun. It's my favorite.
It is good.
Yeah, it's my favorite version of that story of Island of Dr. Moreau. So
it's slowly become mine too, because I still like the 70s version.
I do too.
Only for the fact because it freaked me out as a kid. It really did. And I thought it was really intriguing at that time. And it seemed more grandiose when I was a kid.
Yes.
Too. You know what I mean? But so did a lot of things.
Right, exactly. Yep.
So, but I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's such a good creepy quality to it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just a big fan of What is the Law? I love hearing that.
Sure.
And I wish, I don't think that that's the one, it's in the 70s, so.
Well, that's in both of them. I mean, that and House of Pain, it's the same story. I told Angie the interesting thing about Island of Lost Souls. I said, that's one of the ones I don't think I saw when I was a kid. I saw it when I was maybe 20 for the first time. And I told her, I said, I just don't think I made the connection that was Island of Dr. Moreau because it's called Island of Lost Souls. So I didn't really, as a kid, I'm talking 8 years old. I watched a lot of these old black and white movies back then because they actually played on TV before Turner Classic Movies bought up the entire history of cinema. So back in the day when you would turn on even PBS and watch this stuff, I missed this one. So that I can recall. I don't recall ever seeing this.
Me either. Mm-mm.
So, but they do have the Panther Woman in it, so you got to give them some credit for the Panther Woman. So.
Yes, sir.
Ben Harley, Saturday night of my birthday weekend, if you will. Another movie. Thank you. Another movie we pulled out, Mr. Ben Harley, Prophecy from 1979. Ooh. Watched it again.
Ooh.
Again.
All right. Okay. What'd you think?
I had fun again. And I still like to, I'm talking through this movie a lot too now because I think I understand why it wasn't a bigger hit. And I keep going back to the bear. And the more you watch it, and I mean, it's like, I like the idea of it, But, in Alien Factor, when the aliens were coming toward the camera and they looked like they were like shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, the damn bear does that a little bit.
It does a little bit.
And and look, I will protect this movie like my young. Okay. I mean, and believe me, but I'm trying to understand why it wasn't a bigger hit. That's all.
I think one reason for me a little bit too is I think the smaller bears look a little goofy. They always did to me, even when I was younger. I really didn't have a problem with actually Katahdin, whatever. I have no problem with the bear. I still really don't have much of a problem, but it's funny. I've been looking up pictures because I want to do some stuff with it. And there are some it looks really, to me, it's very teddy bearish in certain, but that's, you know what? I think they did a good job of hiding it. The problem, I think, also with this movie is its time has not been good to it, or technology hasn't been good to it, because these, the Blu-rays look so much better and everything. You can see so much more of its pimples or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think time has not been kind to it. But I still like this movie because when we were kids, we weren't really looking too much like that. I was terrified.
I was too.
When I first watched it, I was like, and I liked it because of movies like Grizzly and stuff like that too, Jaws, whatever. But it terrified me. And there's a couple scenes that they do in there, I think, a la Jaws, where they didn't use the bear so much, that were terrifying. You didn't see the bear, but what happens after, or when the guy peeks his head up out of the hole.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, no, it's a terrific movie. That's why I've been on a constant search for a long time why it wasn't a bigger film. I mean, because it was meant to be a big film. It was meant to be a big film. It was a big release.
It was to me, Tim, and you, right?
It was. No, it was huge. I just think that Frankenheimer just made a mistake with that bear when he said, no, it needs to be less of a monster, more of a bear. Here's the thing. I think this might be part of what's going on. 1979, you saw Alien.
Yeah.
Now, if that bear or monster, let's just say if the monster in the film had been executed better like Alien, like the Alien and Alien, Prophecy would be a classic. And I honestly believe that. The movie's terrific. The acting is terrific. It has a bit of a quaint environmental message, but I'm not an environmentalist. A lot of those
movies did.
I'm not an environmentalist, but I mean, even a quaint one has something good to it. I mean, we shouldn't throw toxic waste in our front yard. So I get it. Yeah. I mean, mercury's not the greatest thing to throw into the envment, in pools and puddles.
Makes big fish.
It sure does. Everything here grows big. So, but it was a lot of fun to watch. It was, I kind of had to twist Angio's arm. I think we just watched it not too long ago. We might have watched it with Danny Hicks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too long ago, but I just told her, I said, I've been waiting for this damn Blu-ray or HD stream or anything to come out. Anything. And I'm just, it's almost like I'm beating my head against the wall. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to watch it again. So we looked at it. Like I said, we had fun. I just enjoy watching the movie. It's just a terrific film.
Yeah.
And the monster just, it's, as time goes on, the monster doesn't as much, Yeah. So, and the more you see it on big televisions and really like good, clear pictures, it just hurts it a little bit. Now, I don't want that movie to be that much fun. That's the problem. Like, it's not silly. Like, you can laugh at it. Like, if we watch a big robot movie from the 50s, the sillier the better. I'm in, man. I'm laughing. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
No, not that one. That's like, it's like if American Werewolf in London had a bad werewolf instead of I know that's not your favorite style of werewolf, but it's a good one.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's great. So now if that was a crap werewolf, can you imagine? That would be the same thing.
Yeah.
It'd be like, and that's what I'm saying. It's like American Werewolf in London with a crap werewolf.
Yeah. And I think too, what hurts Prophecy right at the end is that, I don't know, it looks like more like a beaver, a bucktooth beaver, that his head pops up at the end and goes, rah, I
always wondered if that was the male.
I didn't know.
Because it had babies. I always thought that was like the male that popped its head up because it looked different.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And it didn't look any better.
Right.
And that one always, I mean, I liked how it did that at the end.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing.
But it never looked good to me.
Well, here's the thing. Now, I'm going to have to, and I don't think, like my brother and his friend, Eric Seebach, hello, Eric, if you're listening, they went and watched this at the theater in Decatur where me and my brother went and saw all these movies in 79, 81, and all that. And I remember, and Harley, I got a lock trap memory for this kind of stuff, especially I'm a little kid. I remember Eric saying, after it aired on TV, I remember him coming over and saying, "Hey, did you watch Prophecy again?" My brother trying to be cool. He's like, "Oh yeah." I think it scared the shit out of him too. It scared the shit out of us.
Right.
He's made a comment that in the theater, she had the baby. It was a monster.
Really?
And I never forgot that. And Mr. Marc Diamond, in the interview coming up, he had mentioned, I don't remember if it was last week's part of the interview or this week's, he had mentioned that he's waiting for a Blu-ray of Prophecy because he wants to see the deleted scenes and some of the gore they cut out and stuff like that. Well, I'm pretty sure the ending was filmed for that with her baby because it's a loose end.
Yeah.
It's a plot hole. What the hell? She ate the fish. She was pregnant. That was the big part of the plot.
Yep.
And they just don't ever do anything with it. So if you watch that scene close, watch that scene again, real close. You can tell something's going to happen, and it just doesn't happen. And I'm pretty sure she does have the baby, and it's a monster.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens if it ever comes out, folks. Whoever you are, powers to be, put the damn thing on a Blu-ray and dig up the old footage, please. I'd love to see it. It'd be like a dream come true.
I'm not sure why it hasn't, because that a lot of people talk about that movie. A lot. I remember talking about it before I even saw it.
Right. Well,
I remember where I was and everything,
We can try.
So
we can only hope. We can only hope. Let's see, moving on to Ben Harley Prophecy. We spent a lot of time. This might be the Prophecy podcast at some point. So,
yes.
Let's see here. Did watch. Oh, okay. I'm going to report. Report.
Yeah.
We are now 2 hours and 12 minutes into Jesus of Nazareth. Let's see. He has just invited Jesus. Jesus is kind of forward. He just invited himself over to dinner at the tax collector's house.
He did.
He did. He kind of bum rushed his way in there. He was hungry. He wanted some. He wanted some vittles.
So you got money. Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, yo, tax collector, I want some vittles. I'm coming over. I'm going to be all holy on you."
Yeah.
It's good though. I'll tell you what, Chance. We watch it every day for like 20 minutes while we're eating dinner.
Yeah.
And I think Chance is into it. I think he likes it. Like you said, it's a great story. It's 6.5 hours of Jesus. We did get through the baptism, John the Baptist and all that. So speaking of Island of Dr. Moreau, played by one Michael York, is John the Baptist in that one. And Donald Pleasance is in this movie. Peter Ustinov, who played Charlie Chan, was in it.
You're on a freak out.
I am a bit on a freak out. And speaking of freakouts, Mr. Ben Harley.
Yes, sir.
I have been on a Chuck Norris freak out.
Yeah, how great is that?
That's great. So let's see. I watched The Octagon. Well, actually, first up,
a few people probably, right?
Actually, first up, I watched A Force of One from 1979. I'm watching the old Chuck Norris stuff.
Yeah.
So A Force of One.
Stuff.
This is all on Amazon, by the way, Amazon Prime. So you can watch this stuff. Of course, good. Chuck Norris of Jennifer O'Neill from Scanners. Ron Superfly O'Neill, no relation. No relation to Jennifer O'Neill. Yeah. Let's see here. We got Clu Gulager, which I always like.
Yeah.
And complete with the slow-mo finale highlighted by heavy delay effects on the sound, So Force of One was a lot of fun, good stuff. And then I went to The Octagon from 1980. Yes, starring Chuck Norris, Art Hindle, Lee Van Cleef, Roundhouse Kicks.
Lots of them.
That one's even more fun because Chuck Norris takes down a complete colony of ninjas.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's been a little while since I've seen that one too, but I like that one. Octagon's good.
Yeah, that was a big one when it came out. A Force of One was kind of big.
Yeah.
But if you remember The Octagon, man, you needed to see The Octagon.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one you had to see. That was like when Commando came out. You had to see it. That's the way it was, So, but I was telling Angio too, because she wasn't really watching them with me. She would like walk by and I'd be watching them. I said, these old Chuck Norris movies were not, top dog. They weren't. They weren't like the later '80s Chuck Norris movies where he'd become kind of a cartoon character of himself or a caricature of himself. I mean, these were big, pseudo serious, fun movies. Right. That came out and they were badass and people wanted to see him, so. Yeah.
Angio's whooped enough ninjas herself.
That's true. So, she can take a fall too. She can take a spill. We've seen this. What you got, Mr. Ben Harley, before we get to Mr. Marc Diamond? What do you got?
Let me see here, Timo. I got a few things. Not a whole lot. I watched a couple things. Let me talk on. Well, Tim, I've been watching a few things on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
A lot of Bigfoot documentaries. I'm pretty sure I've watched almost all of them. I made myself sick on them, Timo. Really, Right. So I don't even want to go outside. I don't even go in the woods anymore. Timo. So, but there was an interesting one called Invasion on Chestnut Ridge.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have seen that.
Yeah, man, I don't know if I want to live around Chestnut Ridge. There's quite a few.
Or invade it.
Yeah. A lot of things that happen on Chestnut Ridge. A lot of paranormal stuff, extraterrestrial. Bigfoots with glowing balls. Whoa, wait, hold on.
Hey.
Whoa. Glowing orbs.
So did you see eye shine? No, ball shine. It's all ball shine.
Yeah. It was an awful sight. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. But like glowing orbs running through the woods or something. I'm trying to think. There might have been some panther talk, Timo. I do believe there was some panther talk. I think you're right.
And I'm pretty sure that's Small Town Monsters did that, right? The people that did the Minerva Monster? Okay, I think I did talk about that a little bit on past episodes.
It's not bad. I actually was... it was interesting enough, I did enjoy it.
That was one I wish they would focus in more, like they would have made separate documentaries on a lot of those different stories. But maybe they will. Maybe they will. It's kind of mishmash, monster mash, if you will.
It seems like they're coming out with these quite, frequently too, There was another one that I watched, you and I had talked about a little bit. I can't remember the gentleman's name. He's a younger guy. I know he goes out, they're the Canadian gentlemen, and so they go a lot. And this is like the third one I think he's done, because he's done like Expedition Bigfoot 1 and 2. I think he's done. I know there was a Wild Man one. Anyways, he had heard a story that his father had told him. His father didn't see a Bigfoot, but had two gigantic rocks thrown at him and a buddy that were fishing. Like minutes apart or whatever. Like rock crushing head, size, suit rocks or whatever, crush your head. Anyways,
something a squirrel couldn't throw at them is what you're saying.
Right. Or, exactly. Or a moose or,
right.
But, so he had gone out and checked out this place where his father talked about, camped out there. I know he goes solo and does these different ones, but the one I watched was quite interesting. He had a lot of it. He talked to other people. This one he had talked to like a taxidermist, and this taxidermist guy, another Canadian gentleman, and he this one was pretty interesting. He talks a lot of just the sightings, and he's like, I won't even go out of my house unless it has to be a pretty serious sighting. But the way that these guys talk anymore, Timo, it's almost like, and I'm somewhat of a believer. I have, I've heard enough stuff over the years that I just can't believe that there isn't something out there.
There's something to it.
Yeah, there's something to it. More conspiracy type things. I don't know. I try not to think too much about those things.
Right. You can really go off the deep end.
I don't want no one to. Yeah, I don't want no one to hear me talk about this. So but conspiracy. Wait. So but this. It's just some interesting talk on some of these Bigfoot documentaries I've watched lately. Some of it's a little bit too much. I did watch one also. These guys were just kind of going around and looking, and they were finding bones and things, which was also kind of interesting because of just the way some of these bones were lined up afterwards and things too, which I found kind of interesting. Now, sure, a wolf, and then they're going to just destroy something and take it off and split, or there's going to be, but some of the stuff, like, I don't think too many people are going to come by and go, well, here's a half dead carcass.
Right.
And there's part of these bones that look chewed up and broken in half. I'm just going to line them up, but who knows? These guys might have done it before. I don't know.
Right.
But just from what I'm watching, that stuff was quite, it's a little bit interesting, something a little bit different. But they were finding stuff all over the place, and
I don't like it. I don't like it when they do the alien thing. I'm like, you're not helping at all. I'm like, can you wait? Can you just wait till they catch one or something before you start with the alien horse shit?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
There was some talk of that on that too. The one gentleman who goes out by himself, he was, just kind of like, he's like, I'm not open to some of it, but there was.
Well, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, because really when you get down to it, anybody can get made fun of for talking about this at all. But there's a point where it's like, can you start here and let's do this before? It's almost like the same as like the Matt Moneymaker thing. It's like, can we find them before you know how they eat and their habitat and stuff? I mean, I mean, look, yes, there is a finite amount of things they could eat. It could be bark. I don't know, but
I wish it was Matt Moneymaker. Wait, what? That's not nice.
They're probably not out in the woods eating chlorine tablets. So there's a finite amount of things that they can find and eat and do, but at some point, it's like, stop with the alien and the interdimensional stuff. I mean,
there was kind of that.
That's almost like
into a tree.
Well, that's like a shortcut to thinking. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't find it because they're interdimensional. Well, you got a hell of a burden of proof, buddy. On that one, it's like, come on, or they're very shy and they stay away from anything involving humans, and they venture out sometimes, toward us. But,
I think too that they're very, I mean, come on, we've talked about this before. We're going into their backyard where they know that we're there. And anytime it was kind of an interesting theory too. Like they were saying, anytime or sometimes if you do see one, it's because they're protecting their young. They're either trying to lead you away from their young, and or they have their young, and their young had got caught behind and was moving too slow or something, and they're trying to either get across the road. The young didn't, or something, and they hesitated. Things like that, different, which because they were saying something that they thought with the Patterson film that they were tracking like 3 Bigfoot. Sasquatch, whatever, and that they thought maybe 2 of them were juvenile, which I hadn't heard this before. They thought maybe that the Patty Bigfoot might have been leading them away from the young and stuff like that. So there's lots of theories out there.
Right. Animals can hide from you easy, really easy, super easy. You are not hard to fool in the woods. You're not.
Right.
But it seems like a lot of people who live in a situation like I do are much more rural, much more in the woods than I do. I mean, I got a woods next to me. It's not like I'm in the middle of a national forest or something. But I mean, I think those people are much more open to it because they know what you can see and can't see, and they get blown away. You can't if people are seeing it, I can understand you being on the side of the fence where you just don't believe them or you think they're mistaken. That's fine. But the ridicule, might want to be careful.
Right.
Might want to be careful because someday you might be wrong, and it's hard to discount hundreds of, not thousands of years of sightings and totem poles and stories and eyewitnesses.
Well, kind of the one gentleman was saying, I can't remember exactly word for word, but it kind of was like that, the taxidermy guy. And he was saying, when you're shouting down, because when people are like, it's not real, like, you say, okay, when you say it one time, okay, I heard you say it again, you're becoming a narcissist. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, it's not real. And then you're shouting so much that so many people are shouting that the few people, or there's a lot of people who have seen it, but there's so many people that are opposed to it too, that the people that have, you're shouting them down, and you're not listening to what they're saying, and the facts and things like that, because you are so right. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll go back to where people say, well, how come no one's seen one? And I put my hand in my head. I face palm myself. I'm like, no one's ever seen them. No one's ever seen them. So those aren't like legitimate humans. The people that have seen it, they're not legitimate humans. It's like, well, scientists. Look, if scientists were looking for Bigfoot as much as they're looking for fucking dark matter, I think we would have probably found one. Okay, and they can't find that shit either, but they're mathematically it can be there. But and I believe it, by the way. I mean, it's like, it's probably there, but you're attaching a word to something natural that could do what it the fucking wants. We don't understand nothing. I mean, we're trying, and I applaud it, but still. All I'm saying is you gotta be careful, and I am careful about making fun too hard about stuff and things like that, because I am a fencer. It's like, and I do believe more than not. Not believe. Believing it's almost a weird word.
Yeah,
in a way, it's like it's not that. It's like I'm open to it, and I don't disbelieve people that are saying something. I just want to see what they're seeing. I'm curious as to what they're seeing, and then I'll make up my own mind. But that's not going to be the final authority either. And there's thousands and thousands of non-human witnesses, apparently, because nobody's ever seen one. So those thousands and thousands of nobodies, their opinion didn't matter much to the population either. So it doesn't really matter. But it's kind of a personal thing with people.
Yeah.
So
What
else you got, Miss Ben Harley?
All right, Tim. Let's see. I did watch The Terror.
The new one.
Night.
Haven't gotten to it yet. I'll probably watch that tonight.
Yeah, not too bad.
I'm not tapping out yet. I'm mildly curious. I don't like. So far, I'm not into the human drama stuff at all. I'm more interested in what they're not showing you a whole lot of. So we'll see. They
still do some of that stuff, but they key on the monster.
Okay, that's good.
And like, I don't know what it is. While I was watching it last night, I'm like, man, I don't know what it is. Here they're out. I guess it's from watching Orca and other movies like The Thing and some other stuff. I just like, I don't know. Here we go. We're out in the Arctic. It's lonely. It's creepy. I know we've talked about this before. I'm like, I'm in, man. This is. It's so far. I'm not like jumping for joy because it's so great. I just think I'm glad they made it. I guess I'm happy about that. I'm like, because there's other things they could be making that I would hate, and so I'm happy. Right. So, also, I've been playing a little bit more of my Alien game.
Watch it. Look out.
Oh my God. Yeah. Look I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. I'm better at creeping around and
better at hiding.
Finding my way, better at hiding, and stuff.
Harley's been playing the game for 3 hours. What are you doing? I'm hiding in a closet for 3 hours.
Hiding in a closet, seriously.
I've got my hand on the button that says hide in closet.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You have to when you're walking around and stuff now, you have to go from thing to thing. I don't know. I'm a guy that doesn't like to be keyed up, and this game's making me very keyed up at times. But I really have enjoyed it, and I give these guys who made this props, because there's really it's scary. It really is, and it's getting better and better. And for me, from a visual standpoint, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Hey, maybe I should keep moving, because I'm probably going to get attacked or eaten right now. And I'm standing around looking at, wow, this looks really cool. Man. This is really, I like what they did with this place, So, but yeah, no, they really do use a lot of cool things. But now I found it though, that alien, he's been hiding up in the vents, and you can't. Timo, you can't walk up to a vent that has dripping saliva coming out of it.
I remember that.
Okay, yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, because it's So
hold on, let me write this down.
yeah, right. But now Timo, like I said, I thought I was getting really good at it. I'm ninjaing around like Angio. I'm doing my thing. And now I kept, because you had that motion detector, and I thought I was smart because I found another human and I used him for bait, so I didn't get eaten. I got smart.
Oh, what a dick!
Hey, man, you got to do it. Well, this is the thing. He shot me one time. The guy shot me. So so I left him out, hung him out to dry. Well, I watched the alien eat this guy, so I knew he was gone. But there's still two bleeps on my motion detector thing there, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? So there's 2 aliens now. So just when I was getting good at it, Tim. There's something else fishy going on. I did go into a room and the alien came out and confronted me, and then these lights popped on. And I'm not the smartest guy in the world, Timo, but when the bomb went off right after the lights popped on, I think they used me for bait as well. Somebody did. Because you know how the world of Alien goes. There's a lot of jackasses behind the scenes.
The company's after you, Harley. The company's after you.
So I think they used me as bait, of some sort. But I'm not sure because
careful
when you go in that room and the explosion happens, you tend to die, and so I'm still trying to figure out how to get past the 2 aliens now. So, but I've really as much as it's keyed me up, I have enjoyed playing the game. So I guess they did their job.
Sleep with your controller in your hand, just in case someone attacks you. You can maneuver yourself around the controller.
Exactly. Clutching it, sweating. But good stuff, Tim. I've enjoyed that. Last but not least, I'm really excited. My New Jersey Devils have made it to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, congrats! Time you said that
since 2012. Yes. After their implosion, after the Titanic hit the iceberg, after the Stanley Cup there. Yeah, like I said, Tim, you can't lose 3 of the better players in the entire league all at once and continue.
No, let me write this down. Let me write this down too. Hold on.
Yeah.
They'll help me with football. They'll help me with football.
Right. Do not, under any circumstances. Also, want to wish the Toledo Walleye good luck too. They start the playoffs. We'll see what they can do. We got some tickets for this weekend, so that'll be fun. I'm really excited, so I'll report back to you and tell you how it goes. If I had to, get called up or I had to get the emergency backup or anything, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I might take my equipment with me, Timo. You never know. You never know. So yeah, Timo, I got a big hockey week this week.
All right.
So with the Devils, the Walleye, and one Mr. Ben Harley is in the championship this weekend in the 50 and over league. So
are you really?
Yes. So we had a game last week. We won 5-2. So we play for the championship. Yeah, I've just been a fill-in lately, Tim, over the last 6 games or so, and in the playoffs.
Do you have to bring your birth certificate or anything? Because it is a 50 and over. You're not 50 yet, are you?
No, not yet. But there's, goalies, they tend to, if they need it.
you get your spotted uproar. A couple of years.
Yeah, there was some uproar over it, but the powers to be came to my aid, I guess.
There you go. Excellent.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, Tim. So I might be calling you from Costa Rica after we win the cup.
Sounds good to me.
On the beach.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well,
they don't play that well.
Let's get to our part 2 of our interview discussion. More of a discussion with the Fresh Prince of Darkness, Mr. Marc Diamond from the punk rock band Dwarves. So here we go, Ben Harley, part 2, Marc Diamond.
All right, Timo, kick ass.
I said I'm a gearhead. I want to see the version of the movie the director wanted you to see. I want to see it like it was shown today. So I love Blu-ray. Right. I love the audio, the video, and everything. Although there's a couple movies that I loved as I was a kid, Prophecy being one, The Funhouse being another one, that I think that...
I have a problem with Funhouse.
Do you have a problem
Funhouse is one of those movies. Yeah, every 5 or 6 years I go, okay, I'll try it again. Mm-hmm. I just think it's bad. I've tried so many. I mean, I really try, but I don't. It's too long. I don't enjoy it. The rubber mask looks terrible. I want to like it so badly, and I can't.
Yeah, that was Rick Baker also who did he did all that too. Yeah, and the rubber mask it doesn't hold up. Well, boy, when I saw that when I was a little kid, it did. It freaked me out.
I thought the most effective scene in Funhouse is when they're watching the creepy magic show.
That's good too, with William Finley doing that. Yeah,
I like that part. He puts the stake through the girl and she coughs up the blood. To me, that was more scary than anything in the whole movie.
Right. Well, I thought
that was good, but the rest of it. Hey, real quick with Prophecy, I never knew this till recently. The guy who was in the bear suit is the same guy, Kevin Peter Hall.
Oh, is it really?
He was the same guy from Harry and the Hendersons and Predator.
Yeah, I didn't know he was I didn't know he was the same guy either. I had no idea he was in that suit.
Apparently, yeah. When there were scenes shot with just a suit and not a mechanical, whatever they did, it was him.
The thing that bothers me about those movies, what I was going to say, is that they suffer sometimes from widescreen. Because if you, let's say in Prophecy, when they got the big the big Jeep thing. They're going through the woods and it's nighttime. And it's that long suspense scene where they're just driving at night and they're scared looking on either side of them. You got a claustrophobic feel on the television screen and on that 1:3 aspect ratio. The Funhouse to me was similar, where when they were going through the Funhouse, it was real tight and it felt more claustrophobic. And then when you see these movies in widescreen, like even in the Funhouse, they're all grouped together walking through the Funhouse. And then on the edges, it looks like they're in a warehouse. Not a fun house. Sure. And I think that sometimes Prophecy, there was a couple moments where I felt like it did kind of hurt it a little bit. And that bothers me personally, because I don't like that. You know, I'm the kind of guy that my kid will get in trouble for saying Frankenstein, not Frankenstein's monster. You know, so I'm a purist when it comes, and it bothers me. But I do think that there are some things as a kid when I saw it that don't work as well because you can see more. You know, going on too. So I don't know.
I agree with that. And then what you had mentioned, you know, it's the same thing like with director cuts, you know, you want to see the movie the way they want it to be. But I don't like it when they go back and years later and reassemble their director's cut.
Right.
Recently, I watched the director's cut of Alien. Alien is just a perfect movie. It's just absolutely perfect. There's only one scene in Alien, the scene when the robot Ash, they're trying to get his head to work.
Right.
That it's kind of an awkward cut in the original movie. Otherwise than that, I wouldn't change anything. But I watched the director's cut recently, and that would have been the only thing that you could fix. They didn't fix that, but they took out big parts of dialogue that meant a lot to the storyline. You know, there's a part where she goes, "I don't trust him," and Dallas says, "I don't trust anybody."
Right.
They cut that. You know, they cut that, and they added that weird scene with the people being encased, you know, like Cocoon that didn't act. And then what's his name? You know, Kane kind of turning into an egg, and it just made no sense. John Hurt, he's kind of turning into, looks like there's an egg. Well, how'd the egg get there if there was no queen? I don't know. I thought the director cut was real disappointing, and mostly for the dialogue that they took out.
Right.
Then the one thing that I was wanted them to fix was that one awkward cut with Ash's head that they didn't fix.
Right. Well, I agree with you totally. Actually, like either last episode or 2 episodes ago, I don't remember what movie. Oh, Close Encounters. I sat down a couple weekends ago with the whole family. We sat down and we have a little sunroom, which looks out into our woods and stuff. And we threw on Close Encounters because we'd never seen it. Chance had never seen it, my 10-year-old. And I'm like, I haven't seen it in a long time. I had it in 4K, like a 4K disc, and I hadn't watched it yet. So we watched it, and of course you got like 9 versions of it sitting in front of you, you know? Right. So immediately I went for the theatrical. And the reason I did that is because I remembered when I saw it as a kid, the first time, which was the only the theatrical cut, I'm like, oh man, the spaceship went off. I didn't even see inside it. And then when they did like the special edition, they showed the inside of it, which looked a lot like Tron. It just looked like a bunch of neon lights and stuff. And I'm like, ooh, that's boring.
You didn't need it.
No.
It was pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with you because I do like when we get when we're reviewing movies and we get a new edition Blu-ray or something like that, they have so many different cuts that it seems like the reason those things work better, and this is my theory, is that I'm not a classic fan of Hollywood suits. Like, you know, the guys that are bringing the hammer down on the filmmakers. But on the other hand, a director can get so close to his material that he just automatically is filling in blanks the audience doesn't have. And I think sometimes when a dumb executive is sitting there and you've entertained him while still pretty much getting your story there, that's going to be the best version probably to an audience, I think.
Yeah, well, people, when they get close to things, they have an inability to edit themselves.
Right.
You know, the interesting thing with the Alien director's cut was actually 4 minutes shorter than the theatrical cut.
Right. Yep.
Usually add in a bunch of that. His was actually shorter, but I didn't like what he added or what he took out. I remember Close Encounters, every time they put it out, it just got longer and longer and longer. It was pretty long to begin with.
Right.
And then, you know, you add 20 minutes of, like you said, him walking around the inside of the Tron game. It didn't really help. But, it's the same with music. It used to be with records. Hey, man, you can get 10 songs. You get 5 on a side or maybe 4 on a side.
Right.
And you can't fit more than that. And when CDs came out, people were like, oh, shit, now we can put on 30 songs. So that doesn't necessarily make a better album.
Right.
Limitations are sometimes good,
right?
In the sense that you go, okay, well, what works the best?
I don't know anybody that can write 30 good songs in one sitting.
Yeah, well, I remember once reading somewhere that like that second Guns N' Roses record one was that Use Your Illusion.
Oh, was it that one or Chinese Democracy? I don't remember which one. I know what you're talking about.
The second one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like Appetite. I'm not a big Guns N' Roses fan, but Appetite, that's a strong hard rock record. It's got eight to 10 songs on it.
Agreed.
The second one, which was, when CDs were all the big thing, whatever, that record is apparently longer than the White Album and X on Main Street put together. Okay?
Yeah, it's too much Guns and Roses.
I'm not a huge Guns N' Roses fan, but it's like, there's 5 or 6 songs that are like 8-minute ballads and stuff like that. It's like, hey man, just put on one of those, edit it down.
Right.
Just because you can put on every song you wrote doesn't make it a better record. And
right.
It's like even, people that I love like Scorsese, I really enjoyed Wolf of Wall Street, but you could have cut out 40 minutes out of that movie.
Right. Right.
Sometimes things just kind of get, when you watch a Goodfellas, you don't realize it's three hours long.
Right.
It just you want it to keep going forever.
Right.
When you watch the movie, when you watch The Godfather, it doesn't feel like it's 3 hours. You don't want it to end.
Right.
I loved Wolf of Wall Street, but there's a point where you're like, oh shit, man, this is going a long time.
Right.
So yeah, it's sometimes somebody saying, hey, we need a movie to be an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's good. The story. The other one too, I recently watched the Aliens director's cut.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of shit added in that one that you don't need.
Right.
A whole bunch of stuff on the planet, a whole big long sequence with the guns that they set up in the hallway to go off automatically.
Right.
And it adds a good half hour to that film for no real effect.
Right. Well, I know I just got myself in trouble because I watched The Godfather with my wife who had never seen it. So then I'm thinking, all right, well, we've watched The Godfather. I'm like, so we're going to watch Godfather Part 2. I said, because it's more like, it's like a half sequel, half prequel. I go, it's really neat. It's really cool. We're going to watch this. So we watched The Godfather.
And I pray that you stopped right there.
Well, what happened was at the end of Godfather 2, my wife being a movie fan, but not a movie connoisseur, she looked over at me and goes, that's it? That's it? There's like nothing else. That's it. That's the end of the movie. I go, well, yeah. Yeah, he had his brother off. That's a pretty big deal. And she's like, oh, that's it. She loved the movie. But I was like, right. and I my foot went right in my mouth and said, well, there is a third one. I go, it's not the worst movie ever made. It's just when you put it up against these, it doesn't feel like it fits.
Yeah, I watched it when it came out and just wanted to shoot myself. I should probably go if I watch it now, it's probably not quite as bad as I remember, but well, I do know that ending scene, the end scene where he has the heart attack and falls out of the chair. Mm-hmm. That was pretty bad. Well,
I kind of accidentally, sometime here in the near future, I know I'm going to have to watch it. So I'll send you a note and tell you whether it's worth it or not. Because I think what happened to all of us, the first time we went in with at least some decent limited expectations that were not met. And I think it's sometimes movies when you go into them with real low expectations, like if you've seen it a long time ago, you're like, well, this wasn't that bad, because there's been a lot of crap that's came out since then, too.
It was pretty bad when it came out.
It was pretty bad. It was definitely pretty bad. Yeah. And I think that was another instance of the story should have stopped. It should have just stopped right there. I mean, he killed everybody interesting anyway. So you had to repopulate the film. You basically had Pacino and Talia Shire, to kind of work off.
Yeah, well, they brought in a bunch of new characters that you didn't really particularly care for or care what happened to them. Right.
Well, what else has been, is there anything else that, not necessarily even new, but anything, it can be new, anything that you've revisited lately that are or new that you would want to mention that you've seen?
I'm trying to think. Been rewatching the Aliens because my daughter's finally old enough to watch those.
Those are good.
Of course, Alien. Yeah, I will also say that I like Alien 3. People shit all over that movie when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I feel that Aliens was a great, giant, big spectacle action film.
Right.
And it was good at that. It wasn't a scary horror film like Alien.
Right.
But it was different. And Cameron made the best alien action film you could possibly make. It's very good, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, everybody kind of shit all over Fincher with part 3, but I think you had to bring it down small again.
Right.
When you think, where are you going to go if you try to go big? If you try to go bigger than Aliens, you just end up with Transformers or something like that.
Right.
So
Right.
having rewatched Alien 3, I like, all the kind of with nail and eye British actors in it, and
Right.
I like that movie.
I do too. I wanted to like it more, I think. And I also wish he would have put a little more lighting in it, just a little bit more. And I want to like it more, but it's certainly not as bad as some people say it is at all.
People really, really were just like, oh, you've killed this, you've destroyed the franchise. But I think it had to go back down to being small, bring it back down to what it was, this kind of visceral kind of horror thing. I actually enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of anything else I've rewatched recently. Children of the Damned. Damned. Hadn't watched that in a while. Those are always good.
Yeah.
Chud. I watched Chud again a few nights ago.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
You gotta like Chud.
That's that one I think is like it reminds me of Prophecy in a way where I think it's a much better movie than people give it credit for. I mean, they might think the monsters look a little silly. They kind of look like the It's Alive 3 babies.
Yeah,
the babies become big babies.
It's fun, Chud certainly wasn't shooting to be this, A-list movie.
Right.
I think it succeeds very well as a good, fun popcorn movie.
I do too. Yeah, I miss movies
really,
like that.
Humanoids from the Deep to me is still just that era, that early '80s era. Prophecy, the Chuds, stuff like that. I take Humanoids over all of them. I have to watch Rare Exports again. I remember enjoying that.
Yeah, that's one that I watch about once every year or two. I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's good to have a Christmas movie to watch too. So people always go for Black Christmas. That one never really held up that well for me. I always look at Gremlins as being a funner Christmas film. Or of course there's Jaws 4: The Revenge as a Christmas film.
Whoa. Ben Harley just unfriended you on Facebook.
Well, you remember Michael Caine said, I never saw it. Right. I hear it's terrible. But I've seen the house that it bought me, and it's beautiful.
Right. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes of all time. And depending on what region of the country you are in, you'll see different characters survive or die in that film.
Oh, yeah. That was the only movie that I ever saw in my life where at the end, people hissed. They made that hissing sound. They hissed and they booed. I'd always heard about that. It's kind of like an old-timey thing, like people would hiss.
Yeah.
At the end of that film, and the version I saw had Mario Van Peebles dying.
Right.
I know there's versions now where he pops up and he's suddenly okay.
Yeah.
The one they show on cable has them flying away in the plane. There's a few different versions. But the one I saw basically looked like they ran out of money. The boat hits the shark, and then for some reason it explodes for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
After growling and floating in the air for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I just remember there was silence, and then people in the theater booed and they hissed.
I saw that in the theater too, and pretty close to the same.
That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, because I saw it that way too. Because I know when I saw on TV, I'm like, wait a minute, not that it's any better, but this is a different ending.
Yeah, because there's versions where he comes back, and then more recently on Showtime they showed a version that I'd never seen at the end. They all get on a plane with Michael Caine and they fly away and they're all happy. Amazing film.
As a matter of fact, what I had heard was that while that was in theaters, when me and you were probably seeing it close to when it was released, because it had to have been close to when it was released. It didn't stay very long. I do believe they were still editing it. Even though they'd released it, they were still trying to make a good movie out of it. And yeah, good luck with that.
I'm sure when it came out, I was probably one of those dumb people who went and saw it the first weekend. And
yeah,
I think after that, they probably added in, the fun.
Right.
The fun guy not dying or them flying away. But the version I saw just looked like they ran out of money and that was it.
Right. All right, well, we're running out of time here, Mark, but why don't you tell me what does Dwarves have coming up? I know you guys have some shows coming up. You're doing a little touring, I believe, this spring and summer. What do you have coming up?
if you're on the East Coast, starting on May 9th, we're going to be playing Virginia Beach, Washington, D.C., Asbury Park, Brooklyn, and Philadelphia.
All right.
And then in June, we're going to hit Pittsburgh, Columbus, Ohio, Mishawaka, and Chicago. Starting on June 14th.
Gotcha.
Then after that, we go back to Europe.
Oh, nice.
In July, for if you're in Europe. We have a show booked in Tromsø, Norway, a festival. Tromsø is 1,700 miles north of Oslo. It's actually 217 miles north of the Arctic Circle. So I'll be able to tell people that I played the North Pole. Yeah. Well, it's weird because I did some history on this city, Tromsø. It's the northernmost point in Norway. Uh-huh. It's 217 miles north of the Arctic Circle. In the winter, people go there to watch the Northern Lights, but, we're going to be there in July, so it's basically daytime all the time.
Sure, right.
But I figure it's still got to be cold. It's the North Pole. Yeah. But when I look at pictures from the festival, people are wearing jackets, but they're not like completely bundled up in ski wear, so right. I don't know.
Right.
But if you happen to be at the top of the world on July 21st, it's us on the helicopters in Tromsø, Norway.
There you go. All right, Mark. Well, thanks for sitting out this again. We will definitely have you back on again.
Tim, thank you for having me. Send my best to Ben.
Will do. Again, thank you, Mark. And we will talk to you very soon.
All right, Tim. Take care.
All right, Mr. Ben Harley.
All right, Timo. Mr. Marc Diamond.
That's right. So thank you.
Prince of Darkness.
That's right. Thank you, Mark, for Fresh Prince of Markness. Thanks for once again being a guest on the show, and enjoy getting his take on some of these movies. Couple moments where there was almost an unfriending on Facebook by Harley there.
Oh, yes, I've heard.
We'll get to that, but we will have Mark on again and check out the Dwarves, as I said, new record.
Yeah, check that out. That's really good.
Yes,
really good.
This was a Take Back the
Do
Night.
yourself a favor. Yeah.
Yes, and do that, and then go see the Dwarves live if you're on the East Coast or up above the Arctic Circle too. Apparently they're playing up there. So,
around where the Terror's from.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so check them out. Let's get to our official films for this week, Mr. Ben Harley.
All right, Timo, what you got?
First up from 1963, we have the Toho produced film, the Ishiro Honda from Gojira fame directed film Matango, Attack of the Mushroom People.
Yes,
I love this. Wow. I love this synopsis here.
Yeah,
this is great. I actually did read this synopsis before we did this. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get movie guy out so we can give you the storyline, the long synopsis for Matango, Attack of the Mushroom People. Here we go.
Okay.
Shipwreck survivors slowly transform into mushrooms. So there you have.
The people were coming in droves.
That's not a storyline or a synopsis. That's a pitch.
Oh,
yeah.
Geez.
So this is a Japanese. Now it is in color, and this does.
It looks good too.
It does look good. Yeah, it looks good.
Great, actually.
Yeah, and it is a. It's got the Godzilla movie look to it, and as we were talking earlier, lots of alumni actors and stuff from those. A lot
of all stars.
Yes, it is like a Gojira all star type of film, and it is a. I just talked about Island of Lost Souls. It is a shipwreck onto a mysterious island, and there's a lot of fungi around, a lot of mushrooms and things like that.
A lot of fungi around.
Now, this movie, though, is the problem, and I'm going to let you go on that. I've seen this before, like once, okay? The problem with the movie is that it's sort of like if I call a movie Rambo, and then you have a skinny 13-year-old doing his homework in the movie. Not a lot of attacks, not a lot of mushroom people. Lots of mushrooms.
Yeah, a lot of mushrooms.
And I think this movie had more similarities with movies like Cabin Fever and things, where people are slowly succumbing to a sickness.
Okay,
in a way. It seems like that has more of the drama And every now and then you see like a 40 eyeballed mushroom looking thing float by somewhere, but they're really more threatening than a threat.
Right.
It seems like. What'd you think, Ben Harley?
Well, tonight it's the first time I've seen this, and then I was excited when it first opened up. You see the Toho, logo and everything. I thought, all right, here we go. And actually, like I said, it looked great, and I recognized a lot of the people from Godzilla movies and things, and so I thought we were really into something, and then so actually I was in for most of that. Then they say, they were out on the sea, they were all on the ship, and they get shipwrecked, but they while they're on the ship, they start to encounter a storm and things like that. And I was still on board for most of it. Like they're showing, the ships being tossed around, and they're trying to get it, the sail down, the mast breaks and all that. But then they kept cutting to like the inside of the boat. Now I know this is nitpicky. They're showing a boat that's going up and down like 30 feet in the air and these swells, and it's it's about to capsize and the mast breaks. But when they're inside, everything's cool, everything's mellow. It's barely even tipping side to side.
Right,
nothing's falling off a shelf, nothing. And they're talking. Everything's like, oh, we're gonna be fine. No, everything's not fine. So, like I said, from there I was like, like I said, that's just me being nitpicky and stuff. So I'm like, I can let it go, And then they end up on this island. They crashed and stuff like that. But from that point on, I mean, it's okay. But it does kind of develop like watching a mushroom grow. It's really
right.
There's some, drama with the people because there are, there's mostly men. There's 2 women.
Right.
The one woman's a little bit, she's, I don't want to say loose by any means,
One's a little more fun. One's a little more astute.
Yeah. Right. And I don't want to get slapped or not, so
right.
I'm a gentleman. So anyways, they set up a lot of that, already from some of the characters. We shouldn't have women on board. So you basically know what's going to happen from 10 minutes in, who's going to do what type stuff,
Right.
So I don't know. It just, for me, and I say this a lot, this really needed some more mushroom people. There are some, and they do towards the end but it's like way at the end.
Yeah.
It's like almost the end,
Right.
There are a couple other scenes where some guys come out and they kind of look like you said, they got a bunch of eyes, or they kind of look to me like the Toxic Avenger look. You know what I mean? The early Toxic Avenger. With a couple more nodules on their heads. So I don't know. It fell short for me.
I think
I don't know.
Yeah, like me, Angio, like she says she liked the movie a lot. She's like, it's really good. Okay. But I think at the same time, she doesn't, half the time when we're watching these movies, I think she asks me again, what's the name of this movie again? She's into it, but she doesn't remember. So that's why I said it's like having a movie called, like Rambo or something, and then having, like watching a 13 into his homework. If they would have titled this
Conan the Destroyer, and then there's a pipsqueak in it. Yeah,
it's almost like titling the film The Twist at the End. So giving away like what's going on. And I think that now, in fairness, that's the American title, Attack of the Mushroom People. I do not know how to translate Matango. You know what I mean? So I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm just saying that it just seems like this movie is much more of a psychological horror film, like a sickness movie in a way, where people are, I guess they need to eat, of course, and there's a lot of mushrooms to eat. And they're kind of addictive, right? Like,
and not much else to eat.
Yeah. It's almost like a drug in a way, but then it turns them into mushroomy kind of jerks. Or whatever. Yeah. So it's a good movie. It's just you kind of go into it wanting a lot more creatures, and you get a lot more dicks, like jerks and stuff like that, than you do monsters. Right.
And I think if even they would have turned into the people a little sooner, maybe. Yeah. Because all of a sudden it just really there are tension between the people and stuff, and it gets a little bit better, greater as it goes along. But then all of a sudden it finally just takes off. Finally, but it's not. For me, it just wasn't enough. And the ending's just a little weird, too. I mean, it's okay.
It's kind of what you want, though. It just gets thrown in there to the point where, here it is.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for it in a way.
Right.
And that's kind of like, you don't want to be waiting for it. You want to kind of be wondering what's going to happen next.
Sure.
Instead of sitting there waiting for it. So there is a bit of a title thing, a bit of, but to be honest with you, I'm going to give the movie Great Bape Up because it's a good movie. Yeah. It's just that you go into with certain expectations, it's going to drag it down for you a little bit.
Yeah.
I think. And that's the fault of whoever threw that damn title on there or whatever. But they're selling tickets, man. That's what they're trying to do, sell tickets. And I don't know how they could sell tickets to a Japanese film that didn't have like mushroom people or monsters in it, especially in 1963. I mean, people just, it's a foreign movie. So if you didn't have a Godzilla in or something like that, I mean, so I kind of understand distributors and stuff, but looking at it from today, if you go into it just expecting more of a psychological horror film with some fudge thrown in there, that's what it is. And it's a pretty good movie. For that kind of movie. So I'm going to give it a Great Bape Up with those asterisks by it. For a movie called Attack the Mushroom People, maybe, but it's, it's still a good movie though. It's done really well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give it like a regular Great Bape Up, on the mild side a little bit, because it's not terrific, but it's good. Yeah. It's good. And it's kind of fun, in a way. So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna have to give this one. I'm on the fence. I liked parts of it. I just didn't, as a whole. I don't know. It moved a little too slow, and I like some of that, slower build stuff. But the payoff wasn't really worth it. And then I just think either if they would have had a few more mushroom monsters or men, or even a giant one, I might have been in a little bit more.
A giant one was fun too. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but that's me. I went in expecting more of a monster movie, and I didn't get it. So that's on me. Right.
Lots of allusions to magic mushrooms too. I've eaten them mushrooms. I know those ones right there. Yeah, but So are you pooping on then?
I'm not quite pooping on.
All right, you're close though.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm real close.
You're trying to get home in time,
right? Exactly. Yeah. I don't want to, because I think they gave it a good shot, and it wasn't a bad movie. It's just I didn't like it.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's get to our next official film, Mr. Ben Harley.
Yeah, for sure.
From 1960, Mr. Ben Harley. This week we do have a theme. It's early 60s crazy island movies.
Yes,
pretty much from different sides of the world. Coming from basically. So this is the 1960 version of The Lost World.
Lost World.
Yes. Erwin Allen movie.
Yeah.
Early Erwin Allen movie. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to
that guy.
A short storyline here. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Here you go. Get on movie guy. Here we go.
All right.
Professor Challenger leads an expedition of scientists and adventurers to a remote plateau deep in the Amazonian jungle to verify his claim that dinosaurs still live there. That's it. That is that's the plot of the film for sure.
Setup.
Yes. We have, again, directed by Erwin Allen. Good cast here. We got Michael Rennie, known from the Day the Earth Stood Still. Jill St. John. David the Fly Hedison. It. And the old codger, the old guy, that was Claude Rains, the Invisible Man.
Claude Rains, yeah, he's good in it.
I love hearing his voice. He is good. He's excellent in it. So basically, it is a remake of The Lost World, and I'm going to tell you right now, when they were producing this film, this is going to explain almost everything to you that we're going to talk about. When they were producing this film, if you noticed, and I'm not sure if you did, Willis O'Brien is credited for some effect stuff. Well, he did the conceptual designs, like he did drawings basically, and they didn't even use them because the movie was supposed to be stop motion dinosaurs. Yeah, and unfortunately, this little bitty movie the 20th Century Fox was making called Cleopatra was completely spiraling out of control.
It sucked all the money out.
It sucked all the money out of it. So they had to basically stick horns on lizards. Monitor lizards and stuff like that. Yeah.
Small alligators.
Yeah. Which I think that probably is the reason that this one isn't kind of more up there. Because the actual movie itself is pretty decent. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, Yeah, the dinosaurs are just like, I don't know. On some level, there's some more realism to the fact that there's really something there. On the other hand, it's like, oh, come on. So, I mean, so what do you think of The Lost World, Mr. Ben Harley? You seen this one before?
Yeah, it's been a number of years, but excuse me. It's not a bad movie, like I said, and I like Irwin Allen mostly for the fact because I've Lost in Space, love Irwin Allen, and so going in, I'm pretty excited about it, and I like these old dinosaur movies, but yeah, that does kind of hurt it a little bit, but it makes it sort of funny. But at some points, it does look pretty good. Mm-hmm. I think it probably could have done better with stop motion for sure, right? But then again, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, hey, why not try it?
Well, yeah, nothing was going to be perfect back then. And nothing's perfect now either. I still think Jurassic Park is the closest. The original movie Jurassic Park is the closest thing to a perfect dinosaur effects film, if you will, that there is. Probably the best one made. Good. And I'm not the guy that goes for well, it's not that new anymore. But I'm not the guy to go for something after 1983. And think it's the best, but it is. I mean, it really is. But this is an old-fashioned adventure story. I really do think that Claude Rains is he keeps this thing glued together. He really does. I mean, and I was also like, when me and Angie were watching, I was telling her what I like about these old movies too is that when you had Claude Rains standing in front of whatever the council or all the people trying to explain what he wants to do and trying to get people to come with him to this plateau, he tells the whole story and he does it magnificently. And you didn't have to have 2 hours of movie, to do what he stood up there and explained brilliantly, by the way. And that's kind of stuff I think is fun. And, of course you get a guy like Claude Rains doing it and it's kind of hard to miss. Because he's insanely talented, as an actor and everything. So that was a lot of fun. There was a couple little bitty things in it that kind of stuck out to me that I thought was, I don't know, kind of funny, I guess, in a way. Okay. And the main thing to me was, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but when they're taking like the flights to places, they're taking
the newspaper clippings
but they're taking a flight from New York to London non-stop.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you for not crashing into the ocean. Brilliant. I'm glad you gave me a little bit of a heads up that this will be nonstop. I appreciate that. That's very good. But I thought that one jumped right out of me. I was like, because I looked over at Angel's like, well, I'm glad it's nonstop. Gee whiz. Woo, yikes.
All right. You're in big trouble.
Yeah, right. So, but it's just, the movie itself it's a kid's movie almost. I mean, it's just kind of fun. I'm not sure the guy needed to bring his acoustic guitar.
He took that everywhere with him. Even when they got like taken prisoner. He had it.
Yeah.
What the hell did that come from?
Right.
Like he's already setting into he's ready to a long tenure there.
Right. And part of it feels kind of like a expanded version of the opening of Indiana Jones. Where he's got some people going and there's some people trying to backstab. Because some people are after... Some people want to... Look, Claude Rains comes back and says, I saw this plateau and I know there's dinosaurs up there. And everybody laughs at him. So he gets all these people to come with him. Now, a couple of guys he has come with him aren't there to see a damn dinosaur. They're there because there's also supposedly diamonds up there. So they went to diamonds. So there's a lot of like backstabbing and stuff like that, which I kind of found was... It was a good story piece. It was good for the drama. But, when you step back and look at it, I'm like, I don't think any of those scientists gave two damns about the diamonds. You didn't have to try to off them or anything. Just take them. Take them, So it was a little annoying almost that those guys were jerks. I thought it was kind of annoying. It's like, you don't need to be jerks about it. Come on. So, but... we did sit down, me and Angie and Chance and Corey and even Shay sat down. We did watch this film all together. We were going to watch that or we were going to watch The Cat from Outer Space. Yeah, I just happened to see The Cat from Outer Space on DVD, so I got a copy of it, and I was like, oh, I remember. I think I went to a drive-in and saw it or something like that. So we were I was gonna give Chance a choice, and then I was like, no, I think I'll hang on to Cat from Outer Space, and we'll just watch this. So we did all have fun watching it. I think Chance got a little bored with it now and then, but then there was other parts that kind of sucked him back into it. It's just there's really not a lot to say. It's very typical of these kinds of films. Yeah. I liked it. I think Claude Rains, like I said, the cast, pretty good. It just added everything to it and made it really worth watching. Yeah. Without the cast, those dinosaurs would be much worse. It would be like, yikes. So, I don't know, man. I think that this movie it's just a mild Grape Ape Up. And it's kind of a curiosity. I really wish that they would have let the stop motion thing happen. I wish that could have happened. I think they would have had more dinosaur. Yeah. If they could have done the stop motion stuff. It is, I think, lacking a little dinosaur stuff. I was glad to see they did find a bikini savage woman.
They always do, don't they? Yeah. You know, and she might have had the shortest skirt I've ever seen on a lady.
I didn't notice. I didn't notice.
I did.
I'm joking.
I know.
But
sorry.
Yeah. No. So that was good. It's just
a fun out little. The native in me, Tim.
It's just It's just a fun little movie, you know. And for me, it's a mild Grape Ape Up. There's not much more to say about it. Claude Rains is a delight to watch. The rest of the cast is good. I do a lot of fighting and wrestling around. There was a fight that ended pretty quickly when Michael Rennie gets punched into like a pile of like peat moss, and he doesn't get back up and goes, look what I found. I'm like, well, that ended the fight pretty quick. I know how to get out of a fight now. If I'm getting in a fight with somebody I can't win.
Look what I found.
Yeah, a quarter. You know, let's do something, you know. So, it's all right, man. Like I said, I think Irwin Allen was probably pretty upset that he couldn't do the stop motion as well, and you can feel it through the whole movie. So, but it's still a little fun, little time waster. So, mild Grape Ape Up.
I'll tell you what, though, that reptiles, that little alligator and whatever, that Gila monster, they get at it.
They do.
That's a brawl.
Those
things. I was like, wow, I don't know is PETA there during that? Because
I was thinking the same thing.
Man, those things are tearing. I thought at one point one is dead. I was like, then they throw him off a cliff.
Yeah. 19. Those weren't dummies. I don't think either. Those were smarties. They threw up there. Yeah.
But I don't know. So I'm gonna give it just. A mild Grape Ape Up as well, I guess. You know, it's not that I didn't enjoy it by any means. I thought it was good. You know, it's just I like those movies from back then. There was a few growing up that just intrigued me so much as a kid. So I do enjoy watching them.
Right.
So, and this was enjoyable to watch.
Well, these H.G. Wells, Jules Verne type stories and everything. I mean, they work. They're fun. And you're right. The old ones are always good to go back to and watch. This one's a lesser known one just because it was supposed to be something more than it is. But thanks to that rascally Cleopatra, you know, we didn't get everything we were hoping
and
for.
I think they kept this one a little tamer. There's some comic relief in this one and some other stuff too, you know. So,
right.
But mild Grape Ape Up. All right. You know, it's something that I did enjoy and I probably will go back watching, you know, and any of our fans or people that like this type of stuff.
Right.
You know, you don't even have to be our fan if you're a fan of this stuff.
Right.
You know, you'd enjoy it. So
sure. Okay. Well, let's get out of here, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's see here. We got it's fastly approaching.
Yes.
Hicks season and Harley season
is coming. That's right.
It's a Hicks Harley season coming up here.
You gotta look out. Yeah,
that's right. So hopefully we'll be able to get together.
That's more like an invasion.
It's a brain invasion. Yeah.
There you go.
So hopefully we'll get to sit down together, the three of us, and do a show or two. And Ben Harley, I did make good on my promise. I did get to buy a few movies for my birthday. Yeah. And I did pick up some riff tracks.
Nice.
Bought some, so I got some stuff ready to go, queued up and ready to go for when you guys get here. Yeah, bought some fun movies, I think. So we'll have some stuff to look at. So, but don't know what we're doing next week. It is not going to be, unfortunately, Hicks and Harley season quite yet.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. We'll get there very soon, though. But till next week, Mr. Ben Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Tim Owen Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.